Losing fat is easy. Losing belly fat is hard. But losing that lower belly fat might be the hardest fitness challenge that you will ever face. However, there are specific reasons that might be standing in the way of achieving that when reversed can end up changing the lower belly fat game for you. So let's talk about them. Let's start with the first reason. You're doing the wrong workout. Focusing on workouts that are specific for this part of the belly and overdoing them, thinking that you're doing yourself a favor, is the worst thing that you can be doing to yourself. I'm going to tell you why you think this is a good idea, and then I'm going to explain why it's backfiring at you. Or you know what? Let me lead with a fact. When you work out a muscle, two things happen. Number one, you will raise metabolism in your body to some extent, and therefore you will burn some calories. Number two, you will be challenging the fibers of the muscle, which with the proper nutrition and the proper rest can make it grow. But there's a third thing that a lot of people think is true and it's not, is that when you target a muscle, it's like you have a Sharpie in your hand and you're putting an X on that part of your body, and now your body will magically just target the fat in this part of your body and ignore everything else. This is just not the case. But the reason this backfires more often than not is that you're putting this muscle under so much stress until you basically can't move it anymore. This also leads to you not being able to do other exercises after that, which means the extent to which you have sped up your metabolism is a lot less than what you could have done if you, for example, did a full body workout. Now, with the right nutrition and the proper sleep, you might be able to make that specific muscle grow in size and look better, but in most cases, it will remain hidden under those layers of belly fat above it. Number two is high sugar intake, or sugar intake at all. Now, this is the thing that we tend to ignore the most because it's the hardest one to do. We may find it easy to reduce our sugar intake, but eliminating it 100% is really, really hard for us. The problem is, especially for this part of our body, there's an undeniable correlation between hormonal imbalance in our body and that lower belly fat, especially when insulin resistance is also in the picture. This means that we have to get insulin as low as possible and keep it there. The best way to achieve this is by eliminating sugar, in addition to carbohydrates that have a high glycemic index. Number three is that there's too much stress and anxiety in your life. Now, almost all of us overlook this, but the moment you realize what stress can do to your body, you will realize how vicious and destructive it can be. Let's say you're doing everything right. You're doing a low-carb diet, or you're even doing keto, you're doing intermittent fasting, you have eliminated all sugar from your life, but you're under so much stress and you're letting it go through you, or you're getting too little sleep or drinking too much coffee. All that can cause a spike in cortisol levels. And when cortisol levels are high, there is glucose production in your body. So you're not eating sugar, but your body is producing sugar and putting it into your blood. This raises insulin and destroys all the hormonal balance you've worked so hard to achieve. So take active actions if you notice that you're under stress or anxiety. Make sure to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Reduce your caffeine intake. Take part of the day off. That's just your time of the day when you do things that you know help you relax and unwind. This truly can make a difference. Now, number four, this is one of the most important reasons why we fail at almost anything in our lives. It's not that we have failed, it's that we haven't succeeded yet. When doing keto, you always hear about the huge successes and the fast results everyone is telling you about. Or even when you remember when you first started out with keto and how you lost like a lot of weight at the very beginning. What you must know about that it's very, very normal. You will see a lot faster results in the beginning than later down the road. Now, I'm not talking about beginner's luck. I'm talking about the glycogen stores that get emptied at first when you're getting into ketosis, and all the water that your body excretes with that glycogen. This results into way faster weight results at the very beginning. Now let's talk about how you might be actually making progress, but the way that you're measuring that progress is very wrong. So we've agreed that at first you will lose a lot more weight than later down the road. So what happens down the road? You start burning fat at a lower rate, and you start to build some muscle. This will cause a lot of confusion when you look at the scale week to week. That's why I don't want you to pay this much attention to the scale anymore. You're better off doing two things instead. Number one, measuring your waist or any part of your body that you want to track. And number two is taking pictures and comparing them, comparing before and after. This is because the best thing that you can achieve when doing keto and or intermittent fasting is body recomposition. You want to have lower fat and more muscle. Now, this will not be noticeable on a scale, and it might not even be noticeable using the measuring technique. Only before and afters can show you how far you have come. You can also use body fat percentages if you are a number nerd. Now, as you've probably guessed by now, that if what we're talking about today is the don'ts of fitness, then the do's for me are keto and intermittent fasting. I genuinely believe they can change your life. That is, if you start them right. And what I usually recommend is for you to start keto before intermittent fasting. That's why I created a video focusing on how to start keto on the right foot and achieve the best and fastest results in the most reliable way. Allow me to take your hand from the very beginning to where you want to be at. But for now, if you've liked the video you've just watched, please give it a like down below. Subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell to get notified when I post all my future videos. And I'm gonna see you in this video here. It's probably here.